Hi, good morning. It's Lori from It's Flippin' Vintage, and I'm doing a video today to share with you what I'm doing with the book table or magazine table that I was redoing last week. I decided to do this, it's kind of a bluey minty green. It's called Palladian Blue by Benjamin Moore Paints, and I think it's a really pretty soft color. You can see the bottom here. There's a book table, magazine table at Reclaimed Artisans right now that's white, so I wanted to do something different than just a white or a gray or a stained top with a white bottom. I want to totally do something different and have kind of fun with this one. So what I'm going to add to this table is some leftover pieces of this transfer I have called Cosmic Roses, and it's by Redesign with Prima. I love their transfers. They're beautiful. They're fairly easy to use once you've done it a few times. And I don't sell them, and I don't get any discounts. I buy them just like everybody else would buy them. But I love them, and so I had this leftover one, and I think it fits just perfectly for the top part. And it's lovely. I've done this one on a couple other tables. So that's one of the reasons why I was kind of hesitant to use it again. But each table that I've done it on was a different color. The one was white, one was yellow, and now this kind of pretty minty blue-green. And so I think it'll match this flower down here pretty well. So this piece right now, this bigger piece, I'm going to put on the top of the table and line it up on the side, and then it sort of flows over this way with the writing. And then I will probably use maybe this leftover piece on one of the bottom pieces here. But I wanted to kind of share what I was doing with this table. And so on this piece, there's a straight line on the edge. So that's what I'm going to line up over here on this edge. Okay. And I want to make sure the words at the top line up with the top and don't kind of fall over the edge. So it's not real hard to do, but it does take some patience and time. With these transfers, there are grid lines that you can use. I don't know if you can see that, but there are grid lines that you can use to sort of line things up too, or use that to cut a straight line. So I'm just going to line it up on the edge and then lay it down on my table and get started. You have to be careful that it doesn't stick to itself at all. So you have a little wiggle room, but not a whole lot. So I'm just trying to line it up so it doesn't go off the edge. And then you just sort of smooth it down. Okay. And then these transfers come with this stick, but there's another like tool that you can buy to help put the transfer down, and it's kind of got a triangle plastic top, but I haven't bought that, so I'm just going to use the same stick. And what you do is just rub on the transfer. Some of you have seen me do these before, and you're just going to rub all over the areas that you want to be down on this table or on your piece of furniture that you're doing. And you're going to rub it all over to try to get it to stick. I see it kind of maybe went a little too far up, but that's okay. It'll be all right. And these all take a lot of time, really, especially if you're doing, like, I've done big dressers with them, and you're doing it in section. And I mean, it can take hours to put one of these transfers on. Hopefully this one won't take that long. So once you rub it really well and try to get it to go down, then you pull let me see if I can. And you start pulling gently the plastic top. It transfer comes on this vinyl, this sort of shiny sheet, and you want to make sure the sticky part of the transfer, if you're going to put it back on the sheet, is on the shiny side, because if you put it on the dull side, it'll stick and then it'll wreck your transfer. I know, because I have done that. Luckily it was just a little piece, and so I was able to fix it. So it comes on this, and then you peel this clear plastic one off of it and then stick it down onto your surface. And then there's this plastic top coat, you know, this plastic sheet, clear plastic sheet with the grid lines that you're going to gently pull up on as you're rubbing. And it kind of changes its look as it's sticking down. And you pretty much, after you've done a few of them, you can tell when it's actually sticking down. But you gently pull up. If as you're pulling up, the image isn't sticking, put the plastic back down, rub some more, okay? And you just go all along. And you try to go slowly. So, you know, no need to rush. Make sure you plan your work time so you have plenty of time to do it in a nice, slow, patient way. And I love transfers because really when they're done and they're done well, they look like someone hand painted the furniture, which kudos to the people who can do that. I cannot do that. I really do not have any kind of artistic talent like that where you can paint and draw and all of that. So transfers are my way of kind of cheating and getting that look without actually having the talent. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but some of it is down already, okay? And you can't feel it once it's down. It just feels like the table. So I'm hoping that by showing you these videos of transfers, if you do refinish furniture or paint furniture to sell, or even for yourself in your own home, you could think about trying to use one of these on your furniture. They have all different styles. It doesn't have to necessarily be floral. They're coming out with all kinds of transfers nowadays. There's some pretty, Redesign with Prima has some pretty elaborate ones with all kinds of different graphics on them. So you can really have all kinds of different styles and creativity. But as you can see, it's just the process of rubbing and lightly lifting and trying to get the top paper to release and your image to stay down. And it gets, when the image is down and the plastic on the top is releasing, it looks a little cloudy, so it's not completely see-through anymore. So that's how you know it's actually sticking down. So hopefully the people who will watch this video get some entertainment out of seeing someone else doing some work on their furniture. I personally like watching people paint furniture and do transfers and, you know, add antique wax and glazes and doing decoupage. So I enjoy watching other people do things. Not sure if you can kind of see that yet. I'm afraid it is taking a little longer than I was hoping. I want to get to a spot where you can kind of see it a little better. So hopefully you can kind of see that now. It's sticking down on there a little bit in here. But this Cosmic Roses transfer, it has so many pretty colors that you can really add it to all different colors of furniture. So, you know, it's kind of pricey when you buy it, you know, the first time, but unless you use the whole thing on one piece, I've gotten, this will be the third project now from one transfer. So I'm trying to think, it was probably I would say 30 some dollars, maybe 40 something for it originally. So that's not too bad of a price once you know, divide it up amongst a few different projects. And with this little book table, you know, these, you can't, I'm not going to be able to charge a ton of money for it. So I didn't want to have to buy a whole new transfer or decoupage paper. And I love watching people do decoupage, and a lot of people do, you know, they would get a sheet of rice paper or decoupage, you know, paper, whatever, tissue paper kind of thing, or like a poster, and put it all on the top of here. But it is very hard to get all the wrinkles and bubbles out of decoupage, and some people don't mind that sort of wrinkled, distressed look. But for something like I wanted to do, I didn't really want a bunch of wrinkles in the top of the table. So I kind of gave up on looking at the decoupage papers. Although Redesign with Prima, they have decoupage papers that are kind of a fiber material. It's not flimsy tissue paper or a thick like wrapping paper. It's a fiber material, and they are fantastic. I've used that on a vanity on the front, and then I've used it in drawers. And there's no wrinkles with those. It kind of meshes, you know, in the glue. I don't know. It just is a really lovely, strong material that doesn't rip really easy when it gets wet, you know, like when you put the glue down and then you put the paper down. Sometimes those decoupage papers rip really easy once they get a little damp. When you're trying to get the wrinkles out, they'll rip, so then your whole project is wrecked. So, but the Redesign with Prima fiber decoupage papers, they don't do that, and you can smooth it out. It actually just sort of sits down perfectly nice with no wrinkles. I just love it, and it just sort of becomes part of the furniture. So if you want, I just wish they had more choices, more variety, but also maybe larger sizes, because they're not real big. And so if you want to do sort of a large, you know, piece of furniture with them, or several drawers or whatever, you have to buy, you know, 3 or 4 of them to do a larger project. So if it would be great if they could get a little bit bigger and have a little more variety. I would probably do more decoupage with that. So I'm trying to get this so that you can kind of see the flower part sooner here. And so after I get this main sheet down, then I am going to need to use this section, because this matches up. I think it goes this way. Matches up with this one, and so I'll have to seam it, put it together. But I'm also going to have to cut it, because I only need, you know, just a little section of it to finish off the bottom of the table. So that'll be a little trickier to cut it and match it up exactly, you know, and get it to blend together without a seam in there. Sometimes I do that better than other times. I mean, they're fairly easy to do, but you know, like if this first transfer wasn't put on exactly straight, which chances are it wasn't, then the next piece might have to be a little, you know, off too, so that it will match up, and that gets a little tricky. Redoing furniture is never just simple. There's always difficulties and the issues that happen, and you have to figure out how to work with that, or work around it, or repair it. And with the transfers, whenever there's like little tiny details, like maybe the dot for an eye, or, you know, some little tiny leaf or something, those sometimes don't stick down right away. So you have to really make sure that, you know, that you're not leaving that on the vinyl. And while I'm doing this today, Jeff is working on the bench that we have. He's going to glue the arms. They're just a little loose and not broken or anything, but we just like everything to be nice and sturdy and put together well. So a lot of times you have to kind of take things apart, re-glue them, put them back together. And luckily he has the skill to do that. And then I have a person who is really interested in the bench, and they would like it to be just the stain color and not painted. So we are trying to see if we can fix, because it's not in pristine condition. It has some scratches. And so I would like to sort of cover up those scratches best as we can and make it look, you know, as lovely as it can look without stripping all the stain off and re-staining it all. Which just with all the details on that would just be really hard to do. So he's in the process of trying to work on that bench today. Okay, so if you can see, hopefully you can see how pretty this is. It just looks like it's been painted on here, and I just love the way that looks. So I wish it was going a little faster because it's kind of boring to have me do this the whole time. So sometimes when I get sort of like halfway, then maybe I'll start from the other side and start doing that side, and then meet up in the middle. I'm going to start over here on this side, this over here, and start laying this stuff down. So hopefully, once this is done, somebody is going to want it, besides me. I usually want to keep everything that I do, but it doesn't all match my house, because I don't do everything, you know, the same. And two, I wouldn't have enough room to keep everything. So the other day when I was trying to plan out this table with the transfer, somehow this white backing paper came up a little bit, came off this plastic area, and one side, this side over here, touched this side over here, and part of the flower that goes here is now over here. And so those are the kind of things that happen sometimes when you do transfers, that they get stuck to each other and it can be a total mess. So after I get it all down, I'm hoping that either this one that's stuck on here I can put back where it belongs, or I can cut one out of the rest of the transfer, a little stem and flower, and add it back in. Which, you know, is what you can do if you don't use the whole transfer at one time and you're just using pieces of it, then you can cut parts out of the leftovers and add them in. If you see that there's a spot that looks kind of empty or something kind of got a little messed up, you can cut something out of the remaining transfer and add it over the top. You know, they can be layered on top of each other. You can just add it in, like where there's a little flower missing here, I can hopefully add cut one out and add it to where it's missing. Hopefully these videos of doing these transfers inspire you to try it, to think about, if you haven't done it yet, to find a piece of furniture, or even if you just got like a little box, like a jewelry box, or just kind of a box of some kind, either from a thrift store or buy something from like Hobby Lobby or whatever, or Michael's, and paint it up, and then buy one of the small, they're called midi transfers, they're smaller, and so they're, you know, around $15 or so, and you could try your first transfer on something small. That's a perfect way to try using a transfer without committing to a large amount of money or a huge project. And if this was a live video, which I want to try to do those one of these days, but you have to kind of advertise it, you know, so that people will be available to watch you live. And then I could read your comments and see what you say as I go about doing something. But to be honest, I'm not very good at the whole technology thing. And I'm not even sure if I can even get Facebook to work with me. A lot of times when I do videos, I have the hardest time getting the video to post to my page. So I'm not exactly sure how the lives would go. I know I watch a lot of people who do live videos on Facebook and Instagram at the same time. Sometimes even like on YouTube, and then they're also, you know, live on Facebook and Instagram all at the same time. They must have people who help them with the videotaping, because that's a lot to deal with all at once. So this side is starting to stick down. Hopefully you can see it a little bit. Can't really move the camera. I have a lot of, there's little dots for the eyes that are being stubborn. They don't want to stick down. Okay, come on, transfer. And, you know, I'll pull up and then I'll lay it back down and go back over it, because sometimes there's just little parts that just aren't sticking. So you want to make sure everything's sticking well. And then after I put all the transfers on, then I'm going to add a polyacrylic over the top of the whole thing. Because you want, even though the transfers really usually stick really well, because one time we did a dresser with a transfer and I didn't like the way it turned out, and we had to try to take the whole transfer off, and it was really hard to get it off, and we hadn't even put poly on it yet. We had to scrape it, use razor blades to try to scrape it. We had to sand it. So they stick pretty well, but just to, especially for like a tabletop, you're going to set stuff on it and maybe use it, put books on it, put drinks on it, put a lamp on it. You want to make sure you protect it so you don't scratch up all the transfer really, and for it to last as long as possible. So hopefully you can see that. The letters are coming and getting down. Almost done. And if anybody has any questions or comments, just add them to this video, put a comment on the video post, and I will try to answer any questions that you have later today, hopefully. If I can hopefully get this to post. Like I said, I have a lot of trouble getting Facebook to post my videos. When you get towards the end, you get a little impatient. You want it just to be done so that you can see the results. At least I do. It's getting there. Hopefully, in just a few more minutes here, I will have it done. I feel like I'm making faces. I don't know about you guys, but when I try to concentrate, I do a lot. I'm like biting my lips and things. Not attractive, I know. Oh well. I appreciate everybody's support that follows my page. I've gotten quite a few new followers this last year, ever since I had the booth and at Reclaimed Artisans, and so I have a lot of new people that some of you I know have been following me since the beginning, and I think 2016 or something like that is when we first started. It's Flippin' Vintage, and then the other day, Facebook told me that I started my Facebook page in 2017, maybe? I don't really remember when I actually started the business page. So a lot of my family, especially, have been paying attention to what I've been doing for many years now. So a lot of you have seen me do transfers before, but almost done. but the new people may not have seen them. So that's why I thought I would do another one. And just kind of share what I decided to do with this book table. And it's almost done. The end is here. Woohoo! Yay! So pretty. So I love the way it looks. Now it's going to be upside down for you guys. But it just is so pretty. And I'm not going to stay doing the video with the next section because it's just going to take too long. So I'm going to work on putting this next section on. And hopefully that will go okay. And then I will post pictures after it's done. Do a whole photo shoot with the table. But that's what I'm working on today. I have to run to the booth and see how things are there since the weekend. We were up in our house in Wisconsin, so I wasn't able to go to the booth over the weekend, and they were closed for Easter Sunday anyway. So that is what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing to this book table. Hopefully for those of you that watched, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed seeing how to put a transfer on. And be brave. Find something little and buy a transfer and try to do it. I think you will really have fun doing it. I think you'll like the results. I know I do. All right. Well, thank you. And everyone have a great day. And thanks for watching.